welcome to this video. So for those of you that watched my last video, you will know that I said in my next video I'm going to be doing a change of character and a flip. Now we're going to jump straight into it with this drawing tool, and we're going to draw it out like I did in my last few videos. But before we jump in, make sure you subscribe to this channel if you enjoy the video, and leave a like as well, it helps me out. Now we're going to start off with a low, okay? We'll draw a low to a high, to a high low, to a high high, to a high low, to a high high, to a lower low. Now for those of you that watch my videos, you will know that the reason this is a lower low is because it's taking out this low here, causing a new low, okay? Now for those of you that can spot the change of character, you will already see it, okay? So let me just draw in the supply zone. So here's the supply zone that was taken by this demand zone here. Now let me put in the demand zone. Okay, so I'll explain how this works, okay? So as you can see, this is the supply that put in this low, leaving behind demand. Now this demand zone's taken out the supply, causing a break of structure here. And this supply here, in this area, draw it out. It can be anywhere on this leg, it doesn't have to be right at the top, but this supply here took out this demand here, causing a change of character. Now we'll mark the change of character out so you can see it. Now what we want for a flip, okay guys, is a flip confirms the change of direction for us, okay? Now the chalk is a change of character, it gives us a possible change in trend. Now the flip confirms the change in trend, and we will look to get entries on the flip, okay? Now say we have a supply zone up here, right? We would want price to trade back up, leaving behind demand in this level here, tapping into the supply, respecting the supply, trading back down, taking the demand in this level, okay? Now this is where the flip comes into play. So here, as you can see, this demand level here, once this has been taken, that's the flip, because that confirms that the change of direction has happened. Now let me mark it as a flip here. Flip. There you go, so this is the flip. Now the demand has been taken in this level, the flip has happened. Now what we would look to happen is we would want price to trade into any supply zone up here, as long as it pulls back at least 50%. We're trading into a supply zone. Ideally you want your supply zone to have inefficiency below it or an unmitigated zone. So we'll mark this out as a supply. And you would look to be taking your entries from this area here. And you would expect price to come back up, tapping into this area, trading down, taking the lows, tapping into your take profits, okay? Now the flip confirms the change of character, confirms the change of the direction, and gives us the extra confluence for us to take entries. Now this is a bullish example turning to bearish, so demand to supply. And now we're going to go over a bearish example turning to bullish, supply to demand, okay? Now if we just delete this quick, we'll start off with a high to a low, to a lower high, to a lower low, to a lower high, to a lower low, and a higher high. The reason we have a higher high is because we've taken out the high in this area here, also known as the supply in this area. Now if you can spot the change of character, that's very good, but we'll mark it out just so it's visible. Now this is the supply that causes this break of structure to the downside, taking out the demand in this level. I'll mark these just so it's there and you can see. So this is, sorry, I marked that wrong. This is the demand level, this is the supply level. Now what's happened here is we've had price trading down, bearish, we've had our demand zone put in place, we've had our demand zone put in place, putting in the supply. Let me change this. And then this supply here has took out this demand, causing a break of structure to the downside, which is just carrying on its trend. And then as you can see here, this demand level here, the market, is what actually caused the change of character. Now this demand level has pushed price up, taking the supply of this area, causing a change of character. If I mark that on, we have a chalk demand. Yeah, so those of you that don't know what a chalk means, so chalk just means change of character. And so yeah, so this is the demand zone that take up the supply in this area, causing the change of character. Now what you want to happen again is you want price to trade down, tapping into this demand zone, trading up, taking the supply in this area, causing a flip, which confirms the change of character, confirms the change in direction. Let me mark that out. So this supply here, so you'd have a supply zone up here, once this supply zone is taken, let me mark it, we have the flip here. There, let me mark that as well as a flip. Oh, I picked the wrong flip, but it's okay. And now the same again, guys, what you'd expect to happen is price to pull back at least 50%, tapping into a demand area, ideally with inefficiency above it and an unmitigated zone. And then this is where you'd be looking to get your entries from. So it's the same as the other example. So here, this is where you'd be looking to get your entries from. Now, I've decided to jump on here and draw it out just to make it a little bit easier, and I can explain how it works before I jump onto a candle chart or a live chart, whatever you want to call it. It just makes it easier for those of you that don't really understand what a change of character and a flip is. But yeah, so now you'd expect price to trade back down at least 50%, tapping into this demand level, collecting more orders, and then trading higher, tapping into your take profits and taking out liquidity. So now we're going to jump over to a candle chart and we're going to go over some live examples so it's easier for you guys to see it. Okay, so now we've jumped onto the candle chart or the live market, whatever guys you want to call it. We can start off with the highlighter by marking a high to a low, to a lower high, to a lower low, to a lower high, to a lower low, to a lower high, to a lower low. Okay, and now this is where the change of character happens. Okay guys, so as you can see here, this supply zone, to mark out supply zone, this supply zone here actually breaks this low here, causing a break of structure to the downside. Okay, now what we want to happen for a change of character to happen and to show us that the direction may be changing, we want this supply zone to be broken. And now as you can see, this supply zone gets broken here, causing a change of character, causing a change of character from here to here. Now what causes change of character? This demand zone here. Now we want price to come back down, mitigating this demand zone, collecting more orders before trading any higher, which price does, comes back down, tapping into this area, collecting more orders. And which zone caused this low was this supply zone here. Okay, so now we want this supply zone here to be broken to cause the flip. Now the flip confirms to us that the direction is changing. And now as you can see here, price comes down, tapping into this demand zone, coming back up, tapping straight through, trading straight through the supply zone here, causing the flip. Let me mark that out. Now, what zone causes the flip is this zone here. Okay, now as you can see, we have a down move here, leaving behind this zone, but you can see this bullish hammer. Okay, now I use this bullish hammer because on a 30-second chart, this would actually be a demand zone, but because we're only on the 1 minute, I still would use this bullish hammer because prices come back down and push straight back up. And now as you can see, for this to happen in the market, there would have been a lot of orders put in at this time. So I would mark this bullish hammer as my zone. Now as you can see, price comes back down, tapping straight into this. And now this is where we would look to be getting our entries from. Let me mark this as the demand zone because this is the zone that caused the flip. Okay, so we could catch entries from this zone here. Now the highs, taking liquidity. And as you can see, there is a 1 to 7. Now, I am going to keep this video nice and short. I have another example drew out that I will go over to now and explain. Okay, so now we're going to jump into the second example. Now, as you can see here, guys, this supply zone that puts in this low actually gets broken, causing a break of structure. Now, what causes this break of structure to happen is this demand zone here. This demand zone here. Now, what we want to see to happen for a change of character to be put in place is this demand zone to actually get broken. Now, as you can see, price trades back down, trading straight through this demand zone, causing a change of character. Now, what zone actually caused this change of character was this supply zone here. But in this example, you can see that there's also another up move here, which is quite larger than this zone here. Now, you could also expect price to come back up, filling more of this zone as well, before trading lower, which actually happens here. So if I was to place a trade just off the change of character, I would have my stops above this high just to be extra safe. Now, what causes price to trade back up into this supply zone was this demand zone here. Now, when this demand zone gets broken, this is when the flip happens. Okay, now what causes the flip is this supply zone here. This is the supply zone that takes out this demand, causing the flip. So what we're expecting now is to get our entries from within this supply zone. If we was trading this, now because of how large this supply zone is, we would probably take the 50% like so, and we would put our entry on the 50% of this supply zone, taking our entries from here. like this. Okay, now that is another example for you guys on a change of character and a flip. We are going to end this video here just to keep it nice, short and simple. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure you please leave a like and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on any more of our videos. And for those of you that don't know, we do have a full course and mentorship that goes way more into depth into our smart money trading strategy. Now, the link for my website will be down below in the description. There's tons of information on there. Go check it out. Now, I will see you in my next video. Peace.